You make me, you make me feel like a bad girl. You make me,
Hey everyone, from the very small to the unbelievably large, I
make me
welcome you
feel
to the
like a
next
bad
installment of
girl.
my podcast, a show driven to connect all aspects of the size community. Today, I'm joined by both MissKole and Princess to talk about the cam models side of video content, what the side fetish actually means to them, and if you guys could both introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Miss Cole. I have been in cam work for almost over 8 years. Um, since I was 18, I am 26 now. Um, I recently got into the size fetish about a year ago through a partner that I've been seeing, and it was a real awakening for me in terms of my fetishes.
And Princess?
Hi, hello. My name is LuxxxTheFox, but you may call me Princess. I have been camming for about 5 years, and I got into the size fetish. I was very curious about it. I saw it on Tumblr back in like 2012, but wasn't very familiar with the community until as of recently, until maybe about 2019.
All right. Now, both of these lovely girls can be found on Twitter and on Chatterbait, and I'll link their descriptions. I'll leave their tags and links in the description below. Now, first question for you both: how did you two meet? You guys are kind of a dynamic duo. You've done some projects together, so how did you two actually meet?
I think we first met through a friend of ours, a really close friend. I was staying over at their house at the time, and I met this amazing person. And we decided, after learning that both of us were cam models, that we could cam together. And it was a pretty good time, to say the least.
This friend of ours had a really bad habit of taking in people and then getting tired of them. It's nothing against her. Sometimes you just take on responsibilities that you can't exactly hold. And I decided to come over and have a sleepover. And whenever I came over, I saw that Miss Cole was camming. And I got quickly interested and asked her what site she was working on. And they had told me Chatterbait. And I got even more excited and asked to work with her. And we've been in love ever since.
That sounds really nice and wholesome. That's a really nice origin story and how you guys met. Now, what? Now, you guys are both sex workers. How'd you guys actually get into it?
When I was 18 years old, I decided that I really wanted to show off my body. I hated my body in middle school and high school, and there were so many things about me that I did not love. But as soon as I tried out camming for the first time, I realized that, like, everyone has their thing. Everyone thinks things about themselves are beautiful and things about other people are beautiful that you might not see within yourself. And I was really taken aback by the amount of love and, like, understanding that I received, not only from the people that are obviously there for sexual reasons, but also by the kindness of the people that were there and just wanted to talk, because I realized how lonely some of them were and how lonely I was in turn.
Yeah, I guess I'm kind of guilty of doing that as well. Is there any like anything that stood out to you during your time as a sex worker?
I think the things that really stood out to me, I guess, were the people that were, they wanted to talk. They didn't just want what I thought that sex work was all about, which was sex. They wanted to be connected to the people that they were flirting with. And I know that's not really a new idea as far as like companionship and sex work, but because I hadn't seen the real, like, Princess has seen the actual like day-to-day work of sex work and like actual being around people as opposed to me being online. It was a much different dynamic, and I didn't expect it to be as fulfilling and kind and helpful toward these people because it's helpful to me too. So it's interesting that it can be so therapeutic in a way.
Yeah, that makes sense, and that kind of segues into Princess. What how do you get into sex work as opposed to Cole? Because you did mention that you do have a little bit of a different aspect, but how did you get into it?
I was using it for survival instead of empowerment. At a young age, I quickly learned that I could use my body to get what I had needed or wanted. And although those things weren't exactly a positive experience in my life, I had used those experiences to get to where I am now. For a very long time, I was sugaring. I have done full service sex work. I am no longer doing full service sex work as it's not exactly safe right now during a pandemic.
True. That is extremely true, which actually makes me wonder right now, how do you feel about the whole like shift in the sex worker market right now because of COVID?
Um, are you talking about the influx of cam girls and sex workers in the internet community?
Great, you've just yeah, that one, all that.
Personally, I've been on the internet since I've been on 4chan. I have been selling my pictures on the internet since before I was 20. And people come and go all the time. People are going to realize that this job isn't for them. So even though there are new people and they're going to come around and they're going to do this for survival, not everybody is going to stay. So I am not worried. I have my regulars that are here and they love me, and that's what they're here for. They're here for honest connection and genuine connections, and I can provide that for them. And there's a lot of people here that don't do that. So I welcome these people with all of my heart and I wish them the best, but no, I am not worried in the slightest.
All right, nice to hear that confidence. Now, I guess the next question is, how would you, just I guess as a little precaution going forward in this interview, how would you have this? How would you guys describe your separation as both a character, as your job, and and your actual person? And where do you think, just in general, what would you say about that? The separation between your character and your person. I guess I'll start with Princess.
Um, there's actually a joke between me and like a lot of my friends that you think you know me? Well, like, can you even spell like 10 of her persona names? I have many different personalities that I use to, I guess because I'm a performer and so I need multiple different personalities to market to people. Whenever I get on camera, I have the energy of 1,000 suns. I need to in order to entertain people. But whenever I'm not on the camera, I am very tired and I want to be alone. Sometimes I feel like my personality almost splits because I have to be a certain way, and then whenever I'm not around people, I always wonder like, will these people even like me if they even know who I really am? So it's very challenging having multiple personalities that you have to watch over.
I can only imagine. I can only imagine having to do that. But is there anything the people that you do trust with your person? How do they? I guess most of them are sex workers themselves, right? Um, I guess they know more of your person than than your character. And do you find that fact do you find that fact comforting?
To a certain extent, I have this weird anxiety where I feel like my friends really don't like me, but I have people in my life like Miss Cole where I do trust them enough to tell them things. So I guess it is comforting. It's always going to be comforting to be able to be vulnerable to someone and have it not be a transactional relationship.
Uh, and for and I guess Miss Cole, how do you feel about the generalness of separating your person and your persona and your actual true self?
To be honest, I've always had problems separating myself from the characters that I create within myself. So I do find that some of my cam personality spills out into like my day-to-day life. I feel like I'm a lot more confident with myself because I feel like camming was the release for me that kind of allowed me to explore parts of me that I wasn't allowed to explore when I was younger. A lot of parts of me that were like stuck behind these strict like I guess moral expectations and just being in an area that was very upright. I would say like I'm like suburban kind of upper middle class area and a little too privileged. And so I wasn't used to anything and I didn't know anything. And to be exposed to everything at once was both jarring and also just eye-opening in the best way possible. So I think that I have harder times disconnecting my personalities. I would say there is a distinct difference between my characters and myself, but I wouldn't say that the distinction is as wide as Princess's is with hers. I feel like it's a different kind of feeling because of the way that we've both gotten into sex work. It's very hard to be like no one's the same kind of person, but when you're in a situation like that, survival versus empowerment, there's an extreme disconnect on that level.
Uh, yeah, I could see the difference in psychology working its ways in there. Um, Now I guess, but for another question, a little sub question I have for the entire separation of character and person is, I guess you've already answered most of it, but how much of the person is just the job, and how much, I guess, how in your shows, sorry, let me catch my thoughts. In your shows, how much of it is just the character, like how much percentage would you say is just the character versus your actual self when you do perform?
I would say at least maybe even only like 40% is a character. Like
Wow.
it's a pretty I get too connected to I think audience members. I care about people a lot. I try to be as amicable as I don't know. I'm a people pleaser kind of person, and sometimes that does get in the way of, profit and like all that jazz. I have a bad time disconnecting.
Hmm. And for same question, Princess.
Um, I would say it's hard to put a percentage on it, but I definitely participate in a self-made simulation. I am here to provide a certain kind of entertainment for these people, and I'm going to try very hard to give off this certain persona that they are looking for. But
Um,
a lot of myself still comes out. Like obviously I still love Dragon Ball Z. Like I'm still gonna play the music that I love that makes me feel a certain way. But I am definitely like pushing for a certain look to present to these people.
definitely two different methods of interactions, and that leads me to my next question, which is the entire relationship with your audiences. How would you guys describe your relationship with your audience? Princess, you first.
I would say it's very transactional. I know that a lot of people come to me for comfort because they would like to talk. A lot of my regulars love to talk to me and see what I'm doing, but I feel like a lot of it is voyeuring because I've also had a lot of people that have been watching me since I've been on 4chan, and they comment that they've watched me grow up in a sense. So they feel that it is very personal to them, and I can understand that being with somebody for so long. But for me, I don't have a personal relationship with you. When I say you, I mean it as a general you. I don't mean it as you, Concept Connor.
It's yeah, I wouldn't suspect so. And I get what percentage of your audience would you I say percentage, but you know what I mean. How much of your audience would you say is actually interactive with you versus like the ones who actually like pay, the ones who participate in chat versus the ones who literally who just watch? How many do you think you actually interact with as opposed to the rest?
um, I would say very little, honestly. Like I there are people who don't even come into my chat. They just follow me on Instagram and have been only following me on Instagram, or they only follow me on Twitter, and they do their best to support me any way that they can, whether it be retweeting my things or liking my status or buying me gifts off of Amazon. I would say it's actually very low how many people actually interact with me. I know that there are a lot of lurkers because I have almost 30,000 followers on Chatterbait. And I can only, maybe right now, I can probably list off of 10, 20 regulars off the top of my head right now who actually come in and like shell out the tokens or make sure that my chat isn't dead.
Hmm. And I guess Cole, sort of the same question. Is your relationship with your audience, would you say, is it generally a good relationship?
Yeah, I think I would say that my audience's relationship with me is a good one, but I do think that they sometimes consider themselves more friend than transaction partner, as Princess has stated, that some of hers are more transactional, but I think that's because she's able to like put her foot down in certain situations. She has a lot of strength and like uh I guess the ability to like sort out the logical from the emotional sometimes that I wish I had. So I'd say I have a good relationship with them, but sometimes I think they take me for granted.
I see you have a lot of respect for Princess.
I do.
I guess same question again. How much of your audience would you say is interactive with you?
I would say, mm, I would say a lot. Like a lot of people will message me and just want to talk and stuff like that, and I usually have no problem like talking around them, even if they're not paying me to do so.
I see. Now for both of you, is there any cautions that you think that you as a content creator need to take when interacting with your audience?
The biggest one would be protecting your legal name. Personally, we live in Texas. We all live in Texas, so I mean, we have the law. If somebody comes onto your property, you can shoot them or you can claim self-defense. That's not exactly what I'm worried about. I'm worried about my family. Because if these people find me, then they can do harm to others. And I don't know if my family is well equipped to defend themselves. So I feel like that's the biggest thing to keep
Yeah.
safe and hidden. It's almost like you're Superman.
Yeah, just they'll make quote from Batman, if I did have someone then they might try and hurt me through them. Yeah. That's from Justice League, the cartoon series. But I guess another thing is the the kind of stan community. I know this is going to be a huge shift of content creation, but It's really unfortunate. Apparently, they're the stands of the Dream, the Minecraft YouTuber. They find his GPS location. So yeah, you can definitely see why privacy between your audience and stands would be very important. Kole.
Oh yeah, I definitely do agree. I do think that there has to be a lot um, of security for yourself. You have to be able to protect the ones that you love. And I think that's what keeps me grounded when it comes to like talking about where we live, because sometimes I have like slipped up in chat or whatever. Not like to a certain point, but close enough that I feel bad because I would never want to hurt the people that I love.
Yeah, unfortunate. Unfortunately for me, I've kind of put my real name out there, and it's just because I don't have a big enough audience. So I guess I need to delete all of that information. I don't have a big enough I don't have like a big following, so I just never really thought about it. But I guess I should. I guess I should. Next question.
Oh, whenever I first started, when I first had the name Lux, I was 15 and I was going to raves. I had no following at all whatsoever when it came to internet personality. Um, my friends had told me that if you're going to be going out to these events, you need to have an identity to protect yourself because people are going to ask you who you are and you don't want to give your information out to people on drugs. At least that's what they had taught me. And so as I got older, I kept the name Lux. Just it's just always safe to have another way to call yourself to keep yourself safe, no matter if you have a following or not.
I guess that kind of also depends on what name you choose, because like Lux actually sounds like something you'd want to keep. My first Minecraft username was Mario Freak 94, but that doesn't sound cool, so I always change it. Never actually found something to go with. And next question, I guess. How do you think you reflect on your own audiences?
Um, I always say that I hate them, but I love them. They support me in all of my endeavors. They give me movie recommendations. They try to cheer me up when I'm sad. Sometimes it just feels like they take you for granted.
Well, I guess there are some that might, but I guess not. I'm pretty sure there are some that feel like they mean a little bit more. And Kole, same question.
Um, Honestly, I'm just really thankful they're there. It always makes me feel better to have people around, so I know that maybe it makes them feel better to see me like thriving. And then it makes me want to thrive. So it's just really uplifting.
Mutual relationship. I see.
Yes.
And I don't know if you guys. This is the question where I ask, what is the worst part about your job? What do you actually feel is like the worst part? Well, I guess I just said the same thing twice, but yeah. Kole, you first.
She like gave me the best idea and then like was like, Cole, you're first. And I'm like, Shh, I'm not gonna take it. Don't worry. But
You guys can have
I think
you guys can have the same.
um
You guys can have the
yeah,
same
but it'd be
part.
like taking it from her now. Anyway, I think the worst part for me specifically is whenever I can't reciprocate, I can't talk, reciprocate certain feelings to my audience that they may feel towards me, because I feel like sometimes people feel more things than I feel more things, and vice versa in certain situations. And I never want to hurt anyone, and I never want to lead anyone on or make them feel bad as much as I can help it. So I think that's a very difficult part.
I see. And I guess that would it's really difficult because then you start to feel guilty as well, or it's more of an emotional thing, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I hurting people is like the last thing I ever want to do, and I never want someone to feel like they have to do certain things. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah, uh, I got a general idea. I hope the audience does too. And you'll always have people understand what your job is when they do get there. And I think they'll also be able to understand your emotions. I think you don't underestimate your audience's uh, thought processes. Princess, what would you say is the absolute worst part of your job?
Okay, hold on. I wanted to say that I didn't, when she said I didn't want to take it from her, we both had our mics on mute and I like yelled something and she just so happened to take her mic off first. It was like a game for us. Not like she was gonna take an answer away from me because we both feel similarly about this. What I would say is the worst part about my job is that like we don't get paid hourly. That y- all the money we make is if I want to make any money at all, I have to get online. Like I can't just show up to work and like get paid for showing up. No, I have to put effort into the way that I look. I have to put effort into my voice and how I sound, my camera angles. I have to put out advertisements to let people know that I'm online and that I'm doing stuff. And even if I do all of those things, it's not guaranteed that I'll make any money at all.
That's that is a big negative to the job. Uh, that doesn't even take that's not even comparable to other jobs that people complain about. That's true. A lot of it really is your own brand. A lot that's content creation in general. A lot of, I mean, you guys only get paid through. You guys don't get paid through views, do you?
No.
No.
No, that's I worked on my free cam. I'm actually banned from my free cams. And these sites that we work for specifically, people can just come in and lurk and watch and just hang out. And sometimes they'll just leave your window open like you're the radio.
Oh my God, and don't get me started on the people that record your content and then put it behind paywalls.
That's isn't is that illegal?
It
Um,
is illegal.
Sounds like it
we
should
have
be.
the DMCA on our thing, so if we really wanted to, we can go and we can get those things taken down and we can sue those people as well.
Which I guess you guys. Oh, well, that's a later question. Yeah, that's the actual absolute horrible part of the job, which is getting paid hourly, and I think that actually needs to be rectified. I think we need to a lot of sex worker reform should needs to be in place. And before I get political, let's just move on to the next question. All right, number 6. Ah, this is the part where my audience, I guess, kind of joins in. Um, are you into the size fetish, I guess? Which is the question, and we'll talk deeper about it, but just general, are you guys into the size kink?
Fuck yes.
I like the roleplay aspect of the fetish. It is not my kink at all. It's not something that gets me going, but I love getting into the headspace of pretending that I am a giant succubus or a tiny succubus.
I see. There's a lot of roleplay involved with the size fetish, especially because, it doesn't exist. But I think that's a completely viable what's the word? Oh, I can't think of it right now. But completely viable way to interact with the size community. And when did you get into it? And I guess we kind of did this in the introductions, but a little bit of a deeper look. When did you actually guys get into the size kink, and what was your relationship to it? We'll go with Kole because she's more enthusiastic about it, I guess.
Um, I think there was like little bits in my childhood that might have like just a little bit like acted upon it, but then like, kid stuff just goes away. Um, but and I was sorry, talking is hard. Anyway, then an ex of mine brought up his size kink, and I hadn't really ever heard of anything specifically. I knew what vor was. I knew what all of that was, but it wasn't something that I had really thought about because I had been kind of sheltered from that kind of stuff in general, like anything. Anyway, I had no idea the amount that I'd be into it to where it's just everywhere now. Like every time I see something, it's like a conditioning at this point. And it's really, really fucking funny. Um, but yeah, I am definitely very much into the size community and vor in general. I think one of my favorites would be cock vor, which is not a lot of people's favorites. Um, and then also crushing, but that's pretty common.
That's actually really surprising to hear. The I would have never guessed that Cockvor would have been your one of your favorites, which is okay. And Lux, I guess you've already stated that you're not so much into it as much as the role play, but what do you think's been the most interactive with the size fetish that you think you've been besides videos? Like when do you well I guess videos included. When do you use your role play to like the maximum when it comes to size fetish? What are your favorite things to role play?
Besides the videos, I guess posting things on Twitter. Because me and as you said when we first started talking, that me and MissKole have a dynamic going on. She's more of the girlfriend giantess who's going to kiss you and maybe she'll kiss you too much and accidentally eat you. But oops, at least you can hear her sweet voice and while you're inside of her tummy. While I'm a succubus who needs to feed, I have to eat, or otherwise I'm going to wither away and become too weak. So you're going to be eaten whether you like it or not. So we're like different parts of the spectrum, and it's almost like a good cop, bad cop kind of thing. And I like to be able to come on Twitter and explore that side of me, and people seem responsive to it. They like to have fun with it, and I get a lot of enjoyment out of doing that. So, like we were talking about earlier, the personality and how it's different, I still enjoy this aspect of myself. Like I'm still find enjoyment through it. So in a way, it's still a piece of me, and I still feel connected to this character.
Your what I've noticed is that your guys' persona of the Size King really does reflect your entire cam model mentality as well. Like you said, you're a succubus you need to feed, you're doing it for survival. And the sweet girlfriend is doing it for well, I guess the for herself and for her audience, which is really interesting to see play out in a character that you've made specifically for a specific kink. What are you guys' favorite parts? I guess I already kind of went over that, but what are some of the parts that you don't actually understand about the size fetish? Like the parts of the size fetish that you'd be like, well, I don't understand how people are into that bit.
Fucking frog thing. Where
Excuse me?
people like to be swallowed by a frog. Like
What
I
the
get
fuck is wrong with you? It's great.
I what? You that would smell disgusting. But I can get everything I can get behind everything else being swallowed by a giant lady, having her tongue you, like feeling squished and compressed inside of somebody's internal organs and stuff. Like that I can understand. I can understand wanting to feel the tingle of like being in someone's stomach acids or something. I don't even like feet, but shit, I can get behind fucking being stomped by a tall ass lady. But like a frog, it's an animal. That's like borderline bestiality. I love how you came off the mic and you're like, it's great. I love you so much. It was cool.
It's true. It's great.
That's weird. I don't know why, but I've seen like many different frog vores in anime, and I have no idea why there's so many of them.
I'm gonna go ahead and assume that it has to do with the sticky tongue
I,
and
you'd
being in
think so,
like big warm mouth that's like a
because
blanket
I'm pretty
almost.
sure there's an instant of it in a
Oh.
Kamega Kill, and then there's the parts in Konosuba as well. If you guys do know the anime, then you guys know what I'm talking about. But it does seem very common now that I think about it, and I've never really thought about it.
I'm always thinking about it. I'm just kidding. I'm not always thinking about it. I just really like frogs. Um, since we live in Texas, more or less like the swampy part of Texas, there's a lot of frogs and toads everywhere. And whenever I started getting into the size community, MissKole's ex-boyfriend had showed us some frog stuff, and I was like, wait, what? Oh my God. And so now every time I see a frog, that's what I think about. And I think that has to do with the conditioning that MissKole was talking about earlier, is that we're so into the size kink and community now that like whenever we see like a utensil that's too big or like a utensil that's too small, we're like, oh, the tinies would love this. And that's what I think of when I see a frog now is like, oh my God, someone would love to be consumed by this animal.
And that someone is me.
Uh, which I guess leads me to you, Cole. What's your part that you don't understand that you could that princess could probably laugh at you at for?
Uh, Poop.
Okay, never mind. Everyone has a pretty much same thing about that.
You
No, but
know, Princess loves poop.
yeah, everyone's not a
Oh, you
fan.
know me and how much I love scat.
Is that
I
stuff
do
even
like the
legal?
power dynamic though. Yeah, I mean like it's legal, but like I think it's the power dynamic and this is just what I've observed. It's like making them feel like they're nothing, aka shit, before you just flush them down and are never like heard from again. It's funny. It's a power dynamic, but for me, I just can't get in the serious headspace enough to, do it properly, I don't think. I have done it, but not properly.
Yeah, I just like I feel I will not do scat play of any kind. Like I will a theory in my head, I'll think about it and I'm like I could eat the necessary foods to make my like scat come out really firm and somebody would really enjoy this. And then I start to think about it and I'm like this is messy. Why? And then I'm gonna be known as the person who does scat porn and I don't know if I want that on my name.
Entirely valid response to that. And all right. So those are the what do you okay, I guess best parts. What are your best parts about the kink? We went over it, but like absolute top euphoria bit of the kink. What would you say?
Sorry, we're dying. Um,
Don't die. We still have half the questions to get over anyway.
okay. I won't die. Um, wow. Um, what's the question again?
Absolute best part, 11 out of 10 part of the kink.
As part of the kink. I like the idea of fucking a woman as she rides my tongue. Love that shit.
You're so happily gay.
Like a
All
little
right.
tiny woman.
Yeah.
That sounds adorable. I love the concept of that. What about multiple teeny ladies?
That'd be so fun. Ooh, ooh, and if I had tongue piercings, they could sit on each of them. They could be vibrating. Oh my
That'd be
God.
absolutely adorable.
Oh, they come all over my tongue, little cuties.
You guys are so wholesome.
I think my favorite part about I don't know, it's such a broad question.
Okay. Specifically for Princess, what do you think's your favorite not situation. What's your favorite part about interacting with this specific community?
I mean, I like hardcore. I like whenever I was younger, I was really into gore, and I guess I wasn't saw hard. I was exposed to hardcore before size, and so I thought it was all just eating and crushing and squishing, and I really like the concept of being able to like play with the tiny between my fingertips and just like suck on them whenever I need to. Or trash vor. Trash vor is also really good.
What's that?
Oh, they're about to explain it. I wanted to add that them being one of those giant bunnies from Bloodsea, like skewering people
Oh
and then
yeah.
eating them off
Um
of their fingers.
I've seen those. I'm a fan of hardcore, as bad as that is, I suppose.
Yeah, a lot of people like to talk about the ethical standpoint of just eating tinies or just using them for food. That has to be my favorite part of the size. What a community size play is the fucking tiny rights.
That shit's I don't understand why there's such a discussion about it. It's it's not real.
I love it. I love how passionate people get. They're like, we need lawyers. We have rights. We're not just food. And I'm just like, huh? Did you hear something? While I pick them up and put them in my mouth.
Their little briefcases are so cute.
Do they go
I like
down
how they
well?
crunch.
All right. Let me pull up another question. Now this is more to the worker aspect of it, and what studios have you worked with before? And not just size. Yeah, I guess size studios. Which size studios have you worked with?
I have worked with Larger Than Life, and I have also worked with Paramount Pictures. Both of them I love dearly. They're great. They do really good work. Um, Ty of Paramount Pictures is an amazing editor, and I vouch for him completely with any of your size related needs. Other than that, I haven't worked with many studios. I have had someone approach me in the last couple days, so we'll see, depending on how busy this month is, if I can help them out with anything or if they can help me out with anything. And we'll see where it goes.
Okay. And Princess, would you say the same studios, or are there many more size studios that you've come in contact with?
I have only worked with Paramount Pictures, and even then, I didn't really think of them as a size studio until you had asked me the question because Ty comes to me and we were friends, and so I was like, I thought we were friends. You just edit my video. And so when one of the questions you had sent me was, do you plan to not work with these studios anymore, or the studios that you have worked with? Or maybe I'm not remembering the question correctly, but whenever I was reading it, I was like, those are my friends. I hope we can still work with each other. So I've built like a lot of personal relationships with this job.
I guess that makes sense. You wouldn't know how I want to work with people that's just like there for it only. Have you ever been in contact with any just vanilla studios in general, like just normal porn studios?
Um,
Princess.
yeah, I have. One of my friends is the mascot for Hookup Hotshot. I have some friends who work in, I guess you could say alternative porn, but I call it mainstream porn because they work with producers and studios. I have been in contact, but no, it's not exactly a method that I would like to go about. Maybe someday, but I'm not interested in that right now at the moment.
Yep. And oh, that's okay. And Cole, have you worked with any vanilla studios?
No, I have not. I am not, I don't think that I would fit into vanilla or mainstream porn scenarios.
I guess you've really bonded with the size community specifically, and it just shows how more into the field Princess, I guess, has experience. Um, Next question, number for making videos. What's the process for it? Have you guys ever made any direct videos just from customer? Uh, has any customers like asked you directly to make videos, or would you say that all that would falls under your cam model job and you do it live?
People definitely come to me directly through DMs or through tip notes on CV to ask for custom work. I am always willing to provide any custom work, as long as everyone as everyone's boundaries is or are um, listened to. Um, what's another way of putting it? Yeah, people do either go through Ty or through me. So I think it's pretty impersonal or not personal.
Um, and then for like, how do you make those videos? Do you have someone else use the camera and do you edit those ones yourself, or would you say all the any edit videos that like show heavy editing are only through studios?
I usually go through studios. My computer does not process video stuff very well, as I have recently figured out. So I'm going to need to upgrade my processor a little bit, and then I can probably work on my own stuff. As of late, Ty has been doing most of my video editing. The and then I've been able to send them off after downloading the rest of them. But I do most of the camera work unless I need specific angles, in which case Princess and my other roommate Lav are happy to help me with anything they need, and they are compensated well for their time, either with food or with money.
What's the difference? And
True.
Princess, do you make do people come to you directly for customs, and have you ever done any custom videos for just yourself by just yourself? And then have you ever done ones for studios, and what's the process for making those videos?
People do come to me for customs, but not as often anymore. I actually am supposed to be sending out a custom to Signe. If you're listening to this, I completed this months ago. It's just hard to transfer a 4K video. We're working on it. I love you so much. And a lot of people want the digestion part of the videos, and I do not edit that part. A lot of that is Ty, and he does a very good job with that. So I know that when people come to me for size videos, they want a certain look, they want a certain thing that I am not able to provide for them. So I generally try to send them to the production company because that would be more of what they're looking for. Otherwise, I can just make some I feel like everything else is vanilla now. I was about to say vanilla porn, but let's face it, I do other kink stuff too, but I feel like everything else is vanilla to size kink now.
I will say that the size kink is definitely becoming more mainstream somehow. I have no idea how that happened.
Everybody is a part of the size community, whether they like it or not.
True. I mean, I was watching a video of some guys just testing out VR porn. They just posted it to YouTube and they were like, "Why is she giant?" I'm like, "So I should use VR porn now." Anyways,
Yes, you should.
but the one video that I guess stands out is the one where you two are together with the what's the Halloween video you guys did? I can't think of the name, but that must have taken a
Um,
lot of both camera time and both editing time. And how hard do you think or how much time does making a video like that take in general?
Personally, what's hard for me is learning lines. I've been in debate classes, I've been in acting classes, and I have been pouring all of my soul and energy into improv. And a lot of people on my cam show are like, wow, you look like you have a whole routine and your dance moves are just like so polished. And it's like, yep, I'm making up all of this as I go. And then Ty hits me with a script and he's like, all right, I need you to memorize this and get into character in less than 4 weeks. Do it now. And I'm like, what, Father, please? He's like, no, we need this certain character. Um, MissKole's very, very good at memorizing lines. She loves to do that. So it always amazes me whenever she's in character. And I'm over here like, wait, hold on, what's my line again? And also the other hardest part of doing that one video in particular was the makeup. Having to wake up at 8 in the morning and having to just start painting yourself immediately. It was hard to have it done by sundown because that's when we
Start
needed
painting
to
yourself.
start shooting.
Yeah, I watched that video and I guess that says a lot about me, but I watched that video and it did look what I was thinking was like, wow, that looks like a lot of I was just watching this person and they weren't blue yesterday, or they weren't red yesterday. It must have taken a lot of work, and for anyone who doesn't know, waking up at 8 o'clock is not easy for them because your guys' work hours are pretty late, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I don't know why I've done this to myself. I used to get on at 8. No, I would start getting ready at 8 at night and get on at 10 at night and get off by 3. And now I have this really weird habit of getting on around 4 in the morning.
Yeah, I saw that. I was on Twitter late at night and I was like, "Hey guys, I'm live." I was like, "What the fuck?"
Yep. For some reason, I am nocturnal now.
Jesus, yeah. Um, and Cole, for you, what would you say is the for the video making process? What do you think? How do you feel about how did you feel about the entire process of making that one video in particular?
Oh my God, I get eaten up by fucking mosquitoes. Ty did make it worth our while, but holy shit, that was the most painful thing ever. I was wearing a dress and I had so many mosquito bites. The paint was itchy after a while. It was fucking hot. It was 104 degrees outside. It's Texas, God. Yeah. But, so yeah.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, wait, let me pause the thing for a second. Sorry about that. You guys still here?
Yeah.
Cool. I paused the recording somehow. For those of you who don't know, in the summer, it's fucking it lasts until like mid-November. So yeah, you can only imagine. Um, How long does a video like that take to prepare? Because I imagine you guys did not just shoot that Halloween day or around that time.
Hey, you see, actually. Um, so we did prepare. We did do other days because there were inside scenes as well. But the actual recording you saw was probably the day before Halloween because that was the only day that we could go outside that it was not raining. And then it was like 100 and something degrees. So actually, that whole thing was put together in one night by Ty and pretty impressed, not gonna lie.
Wait,
I think a shout out to Ty is in order.
we spent like 3 days legitimately. Okay, the first day we got up too late. We started too late painting ourselves. So then we slept like okay, no, no, no. When did we start? Yeah, because we slept in our paint, which was really bad for our skin. And then we woke up the next day and repainted ourselves. And I think we had to go back to Frankel's. We had to get more paint at one point because I remember we had crappy paint and we had to go get good paint and we had to ask Ty for money. And
Did you
after
guys
we
show
did
up?
that,
Did you guys show up in paint?
like, excuse me, we need more. And it took like 2 or 3 days to actually get all of the content that we needed of us in costume like that. And then later on, we had to get videos of us in our normal clothes because we were in bed with our partner. So I had to wear lingerie as if anybody would wear lingerie to bed. And I had to pretend to be someone's girlfriend. So all of that took,
Excuse me, pretend.
oh my God. Yes, you had to pretend to be a boy.
I could be a boy.
Okay. I was somebody's girlfriend in their bed and I had to wear lingerie to bed like I would never do.
They're pretty damn hot though.
And that process had taken 3 to 4 days, but Ty had edited in one.
Yeah, shout out to who's Ty? That's Ty West, right? Or am I getting the wrong guy? I'm not familiar with the entire studio community.
I didn't even know he had a last name. I just thought it was one word like share.
I don't actually know. I'm asking because I know like.
It's little Ty.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking of a
Little
completely different guy
underscore
because there's
Ty.
another studio called like Ty West Studios, and that's a different guy. But yeah, just shout out to your guys' editor and is he producer? I'm not sure.
He's everything.
Well, that's all
He
we know.
does
That's
like
all we need to
everything.
know.
He is a man. I know that.
Do you though?
Wink wonk.
Anyways, interesting look into the video making process, and a lot of it really is just editing, then, isn't it? And preparation. And for you, when you guys do shoot, most of the time you guys shoot for each other, correct?
Yes. Besides our lovely third roommate Lavender, who shoots for us as well.
And I guess in the realm of getting people to ask for videos, what are some of your strangest or most memorable requests that you've had for videos?
A lot of farting videos make me are pretty memorable because like it's not my particular thing, so it makes me pretty shy, and I'm like I don't really want to talk about this, but it's also not really that big of a deal because everyone farts. But yeah.
True. Is there any ones that you like just told them no, I'm not gonna do this video?
There have been times that people have approached me for eating live animals, and I will never, ever, 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 ever do that.
Yeah, that's no bueno. I've seen there's like this one video by this one controversy with this one I think she's Korean. There's this one Korean streamer who just eats live animals on stream, and there's a whole controversy over her. Yeah, it
Like a
was
praying mantis.
what?
Like a praying mantis. Praying mantis are very good at eating animals while they're alive.
Yeah, but that's because their like entire digestive process is in their mouth.
Yeah, I'm not trying to make excuses for it. I'm just saying that they're very similar.
Yeah, and which segue, you, Lux, or I mean, Princess, is there any requests that you find strange, that you found most memorable and strange, but that
Say
you did
requests,
do?
are you talking about strictly size stuff or do you
No,
mean
just
all
in
kinds
general,
of
in
requests?
general.
Um, there's this one person in particular who likes to have pictures of me and where I pretend like I'm dead. And it makes me, at first I was like, yeah, sure, I'll do anything. Like they're just pictures, but then the more I think about it, the more it makes me feel really uncomfortable that somebody is like fantasizing about my dead body.
He's paying to. Okay. What?
He's paying me for pictures. He's paying me to send him pictures of like belts wrapped around my neck where like I look like I have a dead look in my eye, or he wants pictures of my tummy, like of me like laying in certain positions.
Hmm. That's concerning.
So it's definitely like very memorable. Every other request I've ever gotten is like nothing. I feel like nothing ever like surprises me anymore. I'm like, whatever, I'll do this. I don't care. And but like this one thing in particular has definitely like stayed in my mind.
Kids these days so desensitized, and um, I guess geez, I can't stop thinking about that. I wonder if he's just like watching your chatterbait. He's like, man, it'd be so much better if she was like dead though.
Fucking God, maybe.
He's like, you know what can make this a little bit better? Some
As if
death.
she was bloated.
Yeah. Anything that you've just refused to do?
I refuse to do anything with scat or zoophilia because there's a lot of people who want to see me get railed by a dog.
I can only blame that one girl that like surfaced a couple years ago. There's this one girl who made a video called Top 10 Reasons Why You Should Have Sex with Your Dog, and Leafy is here covered that girl, and it blew up.
I literally thought of two other girls when you said that one girl. I'm like, which one?
Oh, well, I'm not gonna ask which girls you've been watching. I just know the mainstream.
What? This girl's mainstream, the girl I'm thinking about, she plays WoW on Twitch and she's like super popular.
Oh, well, I guess we're just mainstream in different communities then. There's that
I
one
guess
video that's
freaking
like,
fucking zoophilia is just popular.
I guess there is that one video with like that Asian girl who like shits out a dead octopus.
Can do that.
I don't. It's called like Octopus Girl. I think you just need to terp that, like search that in the. I think you just need to search that in the engine. I think it'll pop up. But
Which
we don't.
engine? Pornhub or Google? I'm doing it now.
Google, just like Octopus Girl, and I think that's all it is. And I guess that brings us to our last question, which is, how do you think the medium, how do you think video compares to the other parts of the size community, specifically size video, like compared to like writing, drawing, animation, and role playing? I guess we'll start with Kole. Well, Princess looks at fucking Octopus Girl.
Sorry, one more time.
How do you think the way that you portray the size fetish, how do you think it
Connor?
differs from, huh?
Hello?
Hello? Oh, I'm muted. Oh, how uh how do you think the way that you perform the size fetish through videos and live streaming, how do you think it differs from writing, drawings, animations, role playing, any of those, the other mediums?
Um, I think it's more interactive for me, but I know that other people think the art and the writing is more interactive. So I think it's definitely a person to person thing. I don't think it's like one way or another. For me personally, like I said, I think videos are more what I strive to do because it gets to me more so than writing and art. Although I have found beautiful pieces of art that have made me feel more than certain videos have felt. So there's always that in between. Also, I realized I called you Connor when it says Concept Corner. So I'm sorry about that.
It's all right. I don't mind that.
Oh my
And
God, that makes so much sense. Oh, I thought your name was Connor.
no, name's not Connor.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Maybe I should use Connor as my alias now. Um, I know that there's like, I guess it's a blend because, like you said, a lot of the there was a lot of script in your videos for some of them. So I guess there's a little bit of writing in there as well. And when you do shots, are there like specific storyboards that you kind of think of, or do you take the shots of your videos like as you go?
There's a lot of script that goes into it. We usually go over the script multiple times before we start filming. Um, uh, our last script, although it seemed quite simple, it can be very hard to memorize steps and also um, at the same time keeping the facial expressions, trying to get into character and all that. So I think that um, there's a lot more that goes into it.
True. Personally, I've been looking at a lot of videos on cinematography, and I can only imagine how much planning goes into doing scripts and doing even specific camera angles. Like you said, sometimes you do need help, and there's obviously better camera angles than others to portray emotion or to portray a certain atmosphere that you want to see in those videos.
But also you and how you communicate and say the line is like such a big thing, and being coached through that by Ty has helped like tremendously. Um, because if you say one thing the wrong way, it can change the entire feel of the scene, the feel of the like. I know it's silly thinking about it from a point of
It
view,
just
but
doesn't seem authentic.
yeah.
Yeah, I know acting does take a lot of emotion. I was in my senior play and I have really bad memories of it. But but I guess there's a lot of emotion portrayed through your acting, and people only have to respect how much work that you have to put into playing a character for videos, especially ones that people just kind of take for granted because you do find them for free. They weren't uh, always for free, but you can find them for free, and people don't realize how much work those 6 minutes really do take. And how about you, Lux or Princess? Sorry. How do you feel about your? How do you feel about how writing and all that stuff, and drawing and animation and other stuff compares to what you do.
It's like part of a book. I feel like all different forms of media are different, but they're consumed just as fast, and we can never satisfy the viewer.
All right. On that depressing note, um, let's see. I don't. Did you find Octopus Girl?
No, I found some other things. I typed in octopus girl and a lot of anime stuff came up
Oh,
actually.
interesting.
Which I think is pretty cute. I found some other things that are just as good.
I fear that. But all right. Thank you too for. I don't really have much of a outro. Is there anything else that you'd like to shout out during this little outro card scene? Any
If you
places
would
where we can
like
reach you?
any place you'd like to reach us, if you'd like to continue to follow us and hang out with us, you can follow us on our cam shows. You can find me as LuxxTheFox, chatterbait.com /LuxxTheFox, or you can find me on Twitter as Comfy Queen, capital C, capital Q.
And for you, Kole?
You can find me at MissKole, chatterbait.com/MissKole. I also have my Twitter, which is Goddess Kole, and I always appreciate talking to everyone and getting to know new people, even if you want to just come in the chat and talk, or hang out, or look at me topless, just for fun.
All right. And I guess you got anyone in particular that you'd like to shout out?
This one goes out to all my dead homies. Maybe they're looking down on us now. Assalamu alaikum.
I don't think there's anything more that can be said.
All right. Thanks guys for coming onto the podcast, and thank you audience for coming onto the podcast. I'm only guessing that with these two on the podcast, this is going to get a little bit more views than my other ones, but uh, yeah, if you guys want to comment, like, subscribe, but I don't really care about the likes and subscribe. Just comment on the video, tell me what we can do better, and tell me who else you'd like to see. Thank you, MissKole and Princess, for actually coming onto the podcast and doing this.
No problem. Thank you for having us. Bye.
Yeah,
Bye.
bro. Bye.